How could that happen? Because they don't know how to use the information they've gathered. These higher faculties we've got are like magic. In fact, that brings up something in my mind. I work conventions a lot. I haven't done as many lately as I used to. And frequently at a convention, they'll hire a magician, an illusionist sometimes. And if I'm working the same convention, every now and then the magician will want me to be part of the trick. And so I see how these things are done. Well, they may have a box and they have a pretty girl in a bikini or something, put her in the box, and he takes and taps the box a couple of times like that. I jump out of the box.
Not right now, please.
And the people are blown away. They say, how that
No,
happened?
don't set it on top
Well,
of
if you
any of
knew
my
how it
stuff and don't
happened,
Set
it's
it right
so
there.
obvious.
You may wanna,
The biggest
You may wanna
job for
sell
the
them, or-
for the magician is to know that you don't know what they're doing.
No, you just kept
They're going to
going. Just
remember
set them
that.
down
I
and
was just telling you.
When you
I didn't
find
need
out
to know.
what's happening, it's not magic
not right
anymore.
now. I'm
But when you
concentrating.
study
I've done this
your
10
personality
times.
and you study life,
don't understand.
you study your mental faculties, that's real magic.
And abracadabra by itself means what you say, it becomes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just found out that, like
That's interesting.
last week from a magician. Said
See,
like,
I
you know
learned
why I say abracadabra? What I say becomes. And that's like, that's right.
That's very good.
It's very good. So
What is abracadabra? What is it? Aramaic or-
abracadabra is when they do the trick.
Oh yeah, no, but I mean, what language does it come from?
Is the meaning of it. I don't know exactly, but it definitely means, if you search abracadabra on Wikipedia, it says meaning. What you say becomes. Which
Very
means your
interesting.
words create reality.
Sure.
Which is exactly what we're looking for. So I had so many questions, but I'm not gonna ask any of them. I think this is so interesting, so I want to keep the flow like this. I have a theory, and I want you to really elaborate on it. Most people say, "Oh, I'm depressed." Like there's some percentages in America, like so many people
They
are
probably
depressed.
are depressed.
Yeah, and like, how can you be depressed? You're a human. You have the power to control your own will. How you're depressed? And what I think happens is when you cannot see a better future.
I can tell you exactly what happens. I can tell you exactly what happens.
What?
I quoted Andrew Carnegie a few minutes ago. He said, any idea that's held in the mind, that's emphasized, that's either feared or revered, begins at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. Depression it starts out from ignorance, doubt, and worry. I've got a chart, I show it. Doubt and worry is on the negative side of life. Understanding is on the positive side.
Right.
Doubt and worry comes from ignorance. Understanding comes from knowledge, but you got to study to get it. Doubt and worry are a psychic disease. It's an intellectual exercise. They're using their intellectual factors to build a negative idea, and that's all they see. They take and internalize that, and they get emotionally involved with it. It goes from doubt and worry to fear. They've emotionalized the doubt or worry. Turns into fear. The fear is in the emotional mind, and the emotion must be expressed through the only instrument it can be expressed through, the physical body. So it moves the body into a state we call anxiety. Anxiety is never expressed. Anxiety is suppressed. The suppression turns to depression. They bottle it up inside. They suppressed the fear. It turns into depression. The depression turns into disease. The disease turns into decay. St. Clair Lewis was right. He said, we don't die, we kill ourselves. Now, what is the opposite of all that? You'll go from ignorance to doubt and worry to fear, to anxiety, suppression, depression, disease, disintegration. Go over on the other side. You go from understanding to emotional state called faith. You just know it's going to move into form because you understand the law. Faith isn't believing something you can't see. Strange thing about faith and fear, they both demand you believe something you can't see. Why would people choose fear over faith? Because they're ignorant. So you go from understanding to faith. The faith manifests on the physical plane, not as anxiety, as well-being. The well-being is not suppressed, it's expressed. And the expression turns to acceleration. You're building energy. And that is because there's no dis-ease, you're at ease. And that turns into creation, not disintegration. It's all a mental trip that they're building. Now they go to the doctor gives them Valium or some kind of drug to cool them out. He gets them numb so they don't know what the hell they're doing. I could show anybody how to overcome depression if they'll do it, but they got to do it. And that's where repetition comes in.
I heard a beautiful story about how we're always treating the effect, and now we're not reinforcing the cause and what makes stuff happening. And there was this beautiful story about if you have a cocoon in which inside there's an animal that wants to get out of it, right? What people do is like, oh, this thing is hurting, it's trying to get out, give him Valium, basically what we're doing with humans. So if you would do that, you would not only hurt the living thing, but you will also stop the growing process. Yeah. So I think you probably have a better version of this, but so many people look at adversity like it's, oh, adversity, go away, depression, fear, all this stuff. When it's something good, makes you grow, makes you become someone better.
Well, like he says, every adversity has within the key to something great. Problems are nothing but opportunities. You just got to look at it, figure, I'm going to figure this out, you know. They're not bad things, they're good things. See, pardon me, we're conditioned, first of all. If you stop and think, where'd we come from? There's a little particle of energy from mom, a little particle of energy from dad. That's the moment of conception. And then an attractive force is set up. All of mom's DNA and all of dad's DNA, all their belief is locked up in those cells. All their conditioning. 280 days later, you make your debut on the planet. You're born. Then, and your subconscious mind is wide open. It's like that glass. You can put anything in there you want. The subconscious has no ability to reject. It is amoral. It is totally deductive. It can only accept. It cannot reject. So then the baby is surrounded by the people that's in that environment. If you took a baby out of Serbia, somewhere here just outside of Belgrade,
sure,
and you take that baby to the suburbs of Beijing, or maybe New York, that baby will grow up fluent in Chinese or English and have no knowledge of the Serbian language.